we don't need to wait for that big intro to play through. What's going on, everybody? We're sitting here in Connecticut waiting for our pickup time. We've got a 10 o'clock appointment. They haven't finished building it yet. It's just one pallet that's going down to Louisville or the Louisville area. And so I'm stuck here waiting. I tried to do some of my statistics homework, but I don't know. I was like not doing a good job. So I decided to give it a little rest. And then I was like, shit, how do I talked to my wife? She's almost home with the boys. She always has long days, but today was a long day because they had to take the younger guy, to martial arts because she can't go tomorrow because my son has the older boy has a football game. So she was trying to get it all done today. And I mean, she's out there busting her butt. She's busting her butt. But and I'm doing the same, traveling around. But Louisville, I don't know what you're saying. But yeah, it's gonna be crazy. This is gonna be a long night of driving, essentially. I think on my GPS it said it was roughly 13 hours from here, taking like 80 across New York and then cutting down, I guess, from Ohio. It's going to be at like 12 and a half, 13 hours. So plus, a couple of breaks for fuel and stuff like that. It's 800 and change, 800 miles. Is coffee still available? Yeah, go to puretruthcoffee.com, puretruthcoffee.com. You can use credit cards now on there as well. So I know a lot of you guys weren't ordering because you couldn't use credit cards, but now you can use credit cards again. So go order now. It's all drop shipped and it's good flavors. So you'll like it. There's no more shipping delays or anything like that. So it's taken a while, but to finally figure it out. But now we did. I guess it took me getting out on the road. I was thinking about it today because I've gone live a couple of times today. I went live when I was sitting at the New Jersey truck stop or the New Jersey the service station or whatever, the first one on 95. And I was like, I was bored, was definitely bored, but I was also happy that I was there. For one, they had, bathrooms, although they had no toilet paper in the service station because it was incredibly busy. But it was relatively clean. They had like 17 custodians working, which was cool. But it was nice to just sit there and people watch for so long, because I literally was just watching people. I talked to one other expedite driver. He came over to ask if we'd be okay to park there, and I was okay. And like right now, I'm kind of in a no loitering spot, so hopefully I don't get in any crap. But I did make a purchase, so they shouldn't get too pissed at me. But I just noticed a huge sign right there that says no loitering. But if they ask me to move, I'll move. But yeah, the Vince Lombardi Service Plaza. That's what it was. But anyway, I mean, it's been good. Yesterday, I got a load. I picked it up in Maryland early in the morning, right from a band's tour bus, which was pretty interesting. Loaded all this music equipment onto the back of my vehicle. Had to fold up the bed and everything because I was too full. It was stacked all the way to the ceiling, all the way back of music equipment, Gibson guitars, drum sets, cords, cables, everything. It was pretty crazy. Drove that up to New York. I had to help load, so I got an extra $75 for that. So that was nice, even though it took me like 5 minutes. And then drove all the way up to New York, and there was like 18 people there to offload it. All these like musician hippie guys, and they offloaded it quick as hell, and which was nice. And then I just waited. I waited for a load. I fell asleep, I think around 11. My phone rang at 12:30. Dispatch asking if I wanted to accept the load. I said, "You don't need to call me, dude. I'll take whatever." And that load fell through. And then finally, I called around 3 o'clock today and said, "Hey, should I move somewhere?" And they're like, "No, no, no. We'll get you." So it was good. But listen, just got back to the store, forgot some, and was talking to my wife. I don't know what you're talking about. But yeah, it was fun stuff, man. It's been interesting. Then I got this load, which is roughly, I don't know, 100 miles from where I was sitting. Got up here too early, but I sat in traffic for a while and I wanted to beat the traffic. And I was secretly hoping I could make the pickup early, but it's not going to be ready. So I can't pick it up early. So I'm just kind of sitting here waiting a little bit. I mean, I'm only 10 minutes away right now. So I figure I'll go over in a little bit and just sit in their parking lot after I finish this live stream. And then just wait at that point until it's all done. But yeah, I mean, so far, so good. I'm trying to figure out what's going to happen because if I do this load, deliver it, it's got an appointment at an auto manufacturer. If I deliver this for that appointment, I'm likely not going to get a load tomorrow, and I'll be tired anyway from driving all night and only sleeping a couple hours. So I'm probably not going to get a load tomorrow. That means I'll get one Wednesday. Based on how this is all working, I'll probably get one Wednesday afternoon, and so I'll sit forever, and then get a load delivering on Thursday, and then probably get a load uh, that's going the same way, unless they give me a far run, which I hope. I mean, I hope I get a far run one of these times. They're all. This is a far run, but it's not. It's a broker load, so it's not paying that well. So, like me, when I do Sprinter van stuff, I get 90 cents, or the truck gets 90 cents per mile. So, which isn't that great. So I get like 60 cents or something like that. I don't know. Can't do math right now. But I get like 60 cents per mile to drive it, but I pay fuel. So it works out to be like 45 cents a mile, something like that after the fuel cost. 50 cents actually, I think it's closer to, which is still pretty good. I mean, I do make money. Um, but the problem is if I work one day, sit a day, work one day, sit a day, I'm only making 600, 700, $800 take home less all the fuel money. Like for example, like I just leave all the money on the fuel card, but I have a PIN number. I can just go to an ATM and withdraw it if I want. But I kind of use that as my reserve in case I want to go home or something. But my plan now, this is my plan. It all depends on what happens Thursday and Friday. My plan is if I am relatively close to Ohio on the weekends and I don't have a load, I'm going to bring the van back to Ohio. My car is in storage in Ohio. I'm going to drive back to Virginia, drop the car off for my wife because she's been having some issues with her car, and I'm not there to fix it, of course. Um, it's running and all that stuff. I just think I need to take it to a Chrysler dealer and have them look at it because that smell of coolant has gotten a little bit more, and it is burning through coolant. It's not mixing with the oil or anything like that. So I'm not quite sure what's going on. Slow burnout, douche. But but yeah. So trying to figure it out and figure out what I'm going to do there. Uh, but my plan is if I'm anywhere close to Ohio, I'm going to drive to Ohio, get my car, which is in storage in Ohio, drive back to Virginia. My son's birthday is next week. So the plan was always to be home next week, all week. And then I was going to substitute teach probably Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And then I was going to find a way to get back out to Ohio. I may end up just getting a plane ticket because the plane is $160 plus a $40 Uber. So I think it makes more sense to just take a plane. I can't rent a car. There are no cars to rent. So I think that's the plan as long as everything lines up financially. But then my wife will have my car to drive instead of the Jeep, which it's got some issues going on with it. And then I don't have to pay for the storage either. There is no contract for the storage. That's kind of the plan. So we'll see. It all depends on where I end up. I could be stuck in Texas, or something like that. So because if I tell them, say Wednesday, that I want to make sure I'm home by Monday or Tuesday, then they're going to route me home right away, and I'm just going to be off for a while, and I won't be able to get my car. Do you know what I mean? So it's someone said car rental is more than air. Yeah, I know, it's insane. Car rentals are stupid expensive, but the problem is I can't even rent a car. They don't have any one-way rentals going to Ohio from anywhere near me, even the airport, even Dulles. So it would be easier for me just to have my wife drive me to the airport on Sunday. I jump on a plane and then fly into Cleveland and take an Uber, the 40, 50 miles, whatever it is, from there. It makes more sense for me to do that. And it's probably cheaper too. And then I just grab the van and then go. So, it all depends. It all depends on, because a Delta flight or United is $160. The flight's only an hour and 20 minutes. So it's not too bad. We'll spend more time driving to Dulles than we will in the air, or than I will in the air. It's kind of crazy. But that's that's what I'm going to try to do if everything works out and if I have the extra money. That's why I'm trying not to use the fuel card except for fuel, because I'm trying to save the money and get everything done. Because it's been a little bit slower on the business stuff. Someone said rent a Home Depot truck for $10 a day, but you can't do one way with a Home Depot truck. In Penske's, they want like $500 or $600. I've already looked at all of the options because originally I didn't even want to bring my car out there, and because then I had to get the storage. But then again, I got a really good deal on the storage. It cost me $1 for the first 60 days or something. Or that's what they said, but I just got a bill saying September 1st they're charging me the $29 or something like that. So I'm not quite sure what it is, but that's the plan. There was a or an active shooter at a college in North Carolina today. Apparently it was really hard to find information about it, but apparently there was only one person shot. That was like a professor there. The suspect who's been arrested is apparently a foreign student from, I think, China. And I believe he studied at the Wuhan lab, which is really weird. And he was studying like nanoparticle distribution for a PhD. So very, very weird stuff. There's no real motive for it. And it is what it is. And then what else? There was that Dollar Tree or Dollar General shooting that took place this weekend in Jacksonville. Media is talking about it, as much as they can, because it fits all their narrative, with the white supremacists and the guns and all that stuff. And like I said earlier, we as a country, we need to do better at figuring out how to stop people with mental illness from getting guns. It doesn't mean that we have to remove the guns from people that aren't suffering from mental illness. But for anybody to pretend like it isn't a problem, it is a problem. This guy was Baker acted. The guy that did the shooting at Dollar General, he was Baker acted 2 years ago, which means that he was locked in a mental hospital, or at least temporarily, because he was a threat to himself or others. Which is it's frightening. But someone said that part of Manhattan you drove was Washington Heights. Nice. Yeah, I did a little video where I was driving through Manhattan earlier, which you could find on my YouTube page, because I couldn't get it to work like this way. If I moved from here, it would not work. It would not live stream, which kind of sucks, because this is a better way. It goes out to all the other platforms. And I can make the other side do it to all the platforms. I just didn't yet. But I just didn't yet. And I probably won't tonight either. And I still have the GoPro, but the one thing about the GoPro, it takes forever to upload the video to the PC. And then I have to edit it. And I'm being cheap, and I canceled the subscription for the software I used to use. So now I'm just using some, I don't know what it is, some free software that came with the computer, and it sucks and it's super slow. Like I used to use Movavi video editor, and it was so much better, so quick. It uploaded, downloaded, did everything you needed it to do really quick. But I'm trying to save all the money I can. So I'm not spending any of the extra money. I probably will sign up for the GoPro Plus thing, which allows it's as long as it's connected to the internet, which it always is. It'll upload into the cloud, and then it makes editing, and you can edit right through their software, I think. So then it will be a little bit better. What else? My plans, I got really ambitious plans for this van, or maybe a different van if I switch out. I want to get the Starlink Roam, because I would love to live stream every single day, my entire trip from start to, or even better, just have it be live 24/7. You know what I mean? No inside cams, just cameras outside. So you could see where I am, you could watch it, and you could switch to different cameras, or I could switch inside the truck. Like if there's cool views on the left, I could press a button and it'll switch to the left. If there's cool views on the right, I could switch to the right and something like that. Billy Mack said, I thought that Henry Hudson Parkway Route 9 was passenger cars only. Yeah, I believe I can go in it. I'm not a truck. This is a van. It's a cargo van. It's just a big ass cargo van. But so I believe I could go on that vehicle. There were other commercial vehicles on there. So, and if I can't, then got lucky. I thought I could. So, but yeah, I would like to get the Starlink Roam thing because that is just high speed internet everywhere. I do have a wireless hotspot right now, which works, but it's not as good. So if I get the Starlink Roam, then it's a big dish that just it sits flat on the ceiling, and then I would have high speed internet wherever I go, essentially, and I could just stay live streaming and just have, say a camera on this side facing that way, camera on this side, a rear view camera, front facing camera. It'd be cool, and it would be something that nobody's done to that capacity. So who knows? But that's a super ambitious goal because the hardware alone for that is like $2,500. Plus, then $150 a month is nothing because I would just cancel these plans and stuff. But $2,500 for the Starlink Roam is nuts. But apparently it works and it's worth it. So we'll see. But yeah, that's pretty much it, man. So it's if you have commercial plates, be careful, Steve. Those cops. I don't have commercial. Yeah, don't worry about it. I don't think I have commercial plates either. And to be honest, there were other trucks there too. So don't. Yeah. I believe I was allowed on that roadway. I'm not a commercial. I'm not like a truck. So I believe I was allowed on that roadway. And if I wasn't allowed on the roadway, I'm sure someone will tell me. But yeah, see, some said vans are allowed. Yeah. Yeah. I think what's confusing is people, this is a huge vehicle, so people think that it's a semi. I mean, shit, it's got the sleeper and all that stuff built in. Well, now I have the TV down because the TV is normally on that bungee thing. I actually did record a GoPro video today of like a tour, a walkthrough, but I never did anything with it because I'm too tired. Someone said, "Am I at Vince Lombardi?" No, not anymore. I'm in Connecticut now. I'm in Connecticut, roughly 10 minutes away from my 10 o'clock pickup. I think it's 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock or 10:30 pickup tonight. I think it's 10. And then I deliver in Louisville tomorrow at 3:30. So, but should be fun. Should be a nice long drive. I fucked up though and listened to one of the podcasts that I like to listen to. I listened to it earlier and I shouldn't have because it's a 2-hour podcast. It's called the Flagrant Podcast. I just think it's funny as hell. So I was listening to that earlier and I should have waited and saved it for tonight. But then again, that's one of the reasons why I'm not listening to any of the news because the news will go on repeat all night long. So they'll play all the same shows that I've missed by not paying attention. And so I'll just listen to those. But yeah, it's fun. It's fun. If you guys want to support this trip, you can do so via the link in the chat. And pretty much what I'm going to use this money for is just a plane ticket, essentially. So if you guys want to help me get my car and all that stuff, you don't need to. I'm going to do it anyway. But it just lessens the burden because, like I said, sometime soon I want to get my wife my car. My car is just sitting in storage, not being used anyway. So I want to try to get my car home. And so I'm hoping, because I planned on taking next week anyway, off, I'm hoping that I get routed somewhere near Ohio and I could just drop the van at the terminal, go to the storage, grab my car, drive it home, spend the week there, and then fly back out. And so that's what I'm doing there. If you want to support it, there's a link in the chat where you can contribute to the stream if you'd like. You don't need to, but if you want to, that would be super awesome. It also is just like a little pat on the back for doing live streams. I know a lot of people, especially with Biden fucking up our country, it makes it pretty hard to even do $5. I get that. But if you can, go ahead and do it. And if you can't, whatever, share my videos. That's helpful too. But I don't really know what else to talk about because I've gone live 3 or 4 times today. 3 times. This is the third. So we already talked about politics. We talked about Trump. You know, Trump has been given a court date, but the court date is uh, the day before Super Tuesday. I, for anybody to say this, what's happening to him isn't political persecution. You just got to be living under a rock, like straight up. There is no other excuse. You're just living under a rock. So, and I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with that whole thing. I think if he does have a trial in Georgia, he's going to be found guilty. Or I'm sorry, if he has a trial in Georgia or he has a trial in D.C., he's going to be found guilty. But what does that actually mean? And what are American people going to do? Like, can you imagine if he actually stands trial in Georgia and is found guilty, where he has a like the federal thing, he won't get any time. But on the Georgia one, they have 5-year minimums for these sentences. If he was to get time, what are people going to do? And if he is able to switch his case um, from Georgia, the state, to federal, which he's likely going to be able to, if he even does that, I don't know. Because just like I heard it on Fox News, you can't have cameras or any of that stuff in federal court. They don't allow it. So, I don't know. Someone said, "What's Biden doing to mess this country up?" Are you kidding? Look at our economy. Our economy sucks. Inflation is at, and here's the thing, because maybe you're a Biden voter. And so let me explain something to you. When he touts Bidenomics, when he touts all that stuff and everyone thinks it's perfect, right? And that the economy is great, go buy something, anything from the store and see how much you pay. Right? He says, "Oh, inflation is down 3.4. It's down from 9%." He's lying to you. You know why? Inflation is year over year. So what that means is they take the inflation number from last year and then the percentage that they say. So we're up there's 3.4% inflation, which is the CPI, from where we were last year. Last year we were at 9%. So if we're up 3.5% now, or 3.4%, guess what that means? From last year or from 2 years ago, we're up 12.8%. That's why everything costs so much. That's the worst thing. Go buy gas. I buy gas twice a day now. $100 a pop. That's what it costs, and it's getting more expensive. Diesel fuel more expensive. Everything is more expensive. So Biden's economy is ruining us. I mean, that's literally what it's doing, ruining us. Who was that? Mose Benjamin. I'm guessing you were just trying to be stupid, but I mean that's the truth. Our economy is not in a good position. It's not getting better. The Fed has said that they're going to do more interest rate hikes. It's nearing 8% to buy a home. Credit card values or credit card borrowing is the highest it's ever been. Well, the highest it's been in decades. This is not good. Someone said it's a COVID thing, not a Biden thing. COVID wasn't in existence. Well, it was, but it wasn't prevalent last year. Mose, it's a COVID thing, that inflation was high last year. That's not true at all. That was because of Biden's economic policies. That's why inflation went. Because you would think if that was the case, then in 2020, when COVID was ripping through and everyone was locked down, inflation would have been sky high, right? It would have been 30%. Except it's not 30%. It wasn't 30% then. It has to do with all the different policies and all the different procedures and all the rules and executive orders that he's put into place. And that's why our country is the way it is right now. And for anybody to pretend like I don't think there's anybody in their right mind. Well, there's nobody in their right mind that believes Biden's actually doing a good job as president. There cannot be. I just cannot imagine. Unless you're certifiable yourself. Biden's first day in office to shut down a bunch of pipelines, which is why the price of gas is so high. No, that's just one of the tiny factors and the reasons why gas is high. Gas is high for a number of issues. Remember Biden and Karine Jean-Pierre, the White House press secretary, they say all the time about, all these oil companies, they're not using their land leases to be able to go and drill. And they're saying, so it's on them. They're raising the prices, saying that it's because of the land leases and all that stuff. Well, guess what? guess what? You know what the truth is? Yeah, there's 10,000 land leases that are out there right now that these oil manufacturers or oil drillers could go and start drilling. But the problem is they can't, because not only do you get the land lease, then you got to go through years and years of permitting costs and permitting expenses, permanent and environmental surveys and all that. And each individual step has to be approved by the government. Guess who is not approving any of those permits? The federal government. This is all stuff that has been said to everybody, but nobody actually pays attention to it because it's so easier to just blame everybody else. It's so easy to blame conservatives, right? Oh, conservatives are trying to, help the rich and fuck the poor and all that stuff. It's just stupid. So you said I can't. I'm trying to get it so it shows. You said you're an independent voter. I'm thinking you are a Trump voter. I'm not saying Biden is perfect, but he has done some good things. Name one good thing Biden has done. Most. Yeah, I can't think of a good thing Biden has done. And yeah, I voted for Trump twice, and I would be honest with everybody. I prefer not to vote for him this term, but I feel like we're going to have to, because there's no candidate that's, well, Vivek Ramaswamy is a good candidate, but I don't think he has a chance to win. But what has Biden done that's good? And people don't start on him in the chat. But I want him to actually tell me what Biden is doing good in this country. What has he done? Well at all? Our border crisis is being overrun. We've sent almost $100 trillion. I don't even know how much, but we've sent a shit ton of money over to Ukraine. That money could be used here. Thank you, Joe, for that Cash App. You're my favorite today so far. Look, you even get a special bell when you send a Cash App. If you've got a message that you want me to read to Mose, send a Cash App or Venmo or PayPal right now. Let's do this. You can use that link in the chat. It should have put it in the chat if I just did it correctly. I'm trying to see if Mose commented something, but he hasn't, which sucks. And that's what people normally do. They come in the chat and then they don't say anything. And that's the truth. Yeah, the oil situation sucks. Part of the reason why the oil is so high is because of, offshore drilling. He killed the Keystone Pipeline, cost all those jobs when it first started. All those Teamster jobs. Now you just had 22,000 Teamsters who lost their job because the White House refused to step in on behalf of Yellow to try to save all those jobs, because the terrorist group known as the Teamster President, decided to forcefully shut down that company. I mean, what has Biden done that's good? I can't think of a thing. The student loans didn't really help. Doesn't help us. My wife doesn't qualify for a student loan. She's a public educator. She doesn't qualify because I make too much. But what else has he done good? Price of gas has gone up much higher. Unemployment, right? You're going to say unemployment numbers are down? They're not really. You know why? Because we have a huge, the highest number ever probably of people that are not filing or claiming unemployment. So they're not counted in the numbers. When he says the unemployment's the lowest rate it's been in 20 years, that's bullshit. For one, he didn't add more jobs than any other president combined, as he always says. You know why? Because we lost 9 million jobs due to COVID. If he's only added 11.4 million jobs and we lost 9 million of those jobs initially to COVID, wouldn't you make the argument that those jobs wouldn't have been lost if COVID didn't impact? And therefore, he's only added 2.4 million jobs, which is fucking horrible. Wouldn't that be what you would argue? But again, you can't argue that way, because then you would have to side with common sense. And that doesn't seem like something that people can do. Loan payments do go. Someone said, I think Chris Christie would be a good president. Oh my God, you're full of it. Biden gave a lot of seniors extra money. He's done a lot for college students to help them out with those loans. Those are facts. He hasn't helped any college students out with loans. Do you think, who the college bailouts that he gave? You know who they help? People that have made their college payments for 20 years. That's the only people that it impacted so far. And now it's wiping debt of people that make a certain amount. That's all. That's the only people that benefited from it. He took existing policies and changed the rules on it to give out breaks. But you still got to make all your payments. You still got to do everything on a certain amount of time. Like, for example, my wife, again, a teacher, $72,000 in student loans. She doesn't get any reprieve. The only state that was going to give her some reprieve, we stupidly moved out of it because we thought it was a federal program. I can be honest, we'd still live in Florida. If we knew that her student loans were not going to be forgiven now, they would have if she stayed in Florida. But you have to pay on your student loans for 20 years in order to get the reduction. Oh, are you saying he's helped out a lot of college students because he took the minimum payment amount, which typically was 10% of your disposable income, right? So the extra money after your bills is what they call disposable income. Used to be 10%. So if you had a disposable income, 10% of that income was your minimum payment for your mortgage. He lowered that to 5%, right? Why? Everybody says, oh, well, he's helping college students, just like you just said. He actually didn't help college students. You know why? Because what he did is he said, okay, you pay less now, you're going to pay more later because you're still compounding interest on top of it all. Plus, your interest rates are going through the roof on everything else you have. So all that money you're saving because you're not paying 10% of your disposable income, you're only paying 5%. Guess what happens? It compounds with all the other interest you're paying for everything else. It's silly, but that's the truth. Someone said, I can't see myself voting for someone like Trump. I can't get past how Trump called black athletes SOB because they did a peaceful protest. What, you mean when they take a knee? They are. They're sons of bitches, and they're in a what's the word? They're in contrast to what everyone else believes. The people that take a knee to our national anthem or turn their backs on the American flag, you know why? I have brothers that served in the military, friends who died in the military. I wore a flag on my arm when I was a firefighter. That flag means something to people that actually served. Taking a knee to it offends the shit out of them. So if you're pissed because a former president of the United States called them sons of bitches because they turned their backs on the American flag, think of it this way. Think of it the way I think of it. And think of it the way many other, actual Americans, like patriotic people, feel. When you turn your back to the American flag, you're turning your back to me. You're turning your back to my kids, their kids, the generations of Americans to come. That's the way I take it when people take a knee with the national anthem or turn their back on the American flag. Why don't you take it that way? That's the real thing. You call yourself an American. I don't know whether you do, if you're an American or not. But that's why so many people get so pissed off about that. And that's the only reason why you don't want to vote for Trump, because cancel. That's the only reason why you don't want to vote for Trump, is because he apparently called people sons of bitches because they turned their back on America. Let me go back to your comment here. And it wasn't to me, it's not a peaceful protest either. If you turn your back on the American flag, it's not a peaceful protest. So in my opinion, you are asking to get hit and assaulted. It's like people that burn the American flag. Yeah, it's been deemed a First Amendment right. I can tell you with a wholehearted truth, if I see someone burning the American flag in front of me, I'm going to go to jail. Because that's just what I believe in. And because I believe that's the American way. I believe that's what it is. Trying to see if he commented anything else. Sorry, my chat shows up so small I can't see anything. So I have to keep scrolling individually. I'm gonna have to leave soon too. Trump did run the country like a business, and maybe that's why people didn't like him. Our country was thriving at that point. Unemployment was down. Women were working at record numbers. Minorities were working at record numbers. The inflation was down. Everything was going really, really, really well until COVID, hit. And then I'll be honest, I'm not one of the big COVID skeptics like everybody else. I believe the COVID was a serious flu. That was my opinion on it. I didn't personally care if someone else gets vaccinated. I don't personally care if someone else has to wear a mask. Or even in the beginning, I didn't even care if I had to wear a mask going around. It didn't bother me as much. It was uncomfortable, but it didn't bother me. I was not like some of the other people that were just offended because private businesses make mandates. It doesn't offend me that a private business makes a mandate. I really don't care. If a private business wants to do that, to me, it's the same thing as saying, hey, if you want to work here, like when I was a firefighter at EMT, I had to get all the vaccinations. I had to get, all of the ones that they required for licensure. It was a requirement. I could have said, nah, I don't want to get the vaccinations, but I did because I wanted to be an EMT. I wanted to be a firefighter, so I got them. And that's just what it is. Like, for example, I had to get a TB test, right? When because I work for a school district, I had to get a TB test to do it. Should I have, said no? I used to call them TV tests, by the way, which is funny. Some said he secretly facilitated the entire Ukraine war to cover up his crimes and Hunter's. I don't really care about Hunter Biden or any of that shit anymore either. I really don't, because nothing's going to change. Nothing's going to change. Someone said, I have family that were in the service. They applauded those athletes for taking a knee that's not turning their back on America. Well, Mose, guess what? I didn't serve this country in the military, but I can tell you that I took offense to it as an American, and that my friends and my family that were in the military, they took offense to it. Okay, so yeah, you may have one or two people that you've talked to that didn't take offense to it and that applauded their decision to stand up and protest. Well, guess what? I know twice as many people that took offense. Nearly everybody watching this video right now, outside of you, was offended that they did that. Okay, there are different ways, like the hands in solidarity and all that shit that they've been doing for years. That doesn't matter to me. But you take a knee, you turn your back on the American flag, you take a knee during our national anthem. Are you fucking nuts? Are you nuts? To me, that's you turning your back on America and me and my kids and everybody else. And that's the truth. I'm trying to see. Unfortunately, it's such a small. I only see like one comment at a time. But again, if you agree, yeah, I'm gonna do this too. If you agree with me, everything that I've just said, if you agree that taking a knee is offensive, do me a favor. Send a Cash App Venmo right now. Click on the link that's in your chat. You can go in there. You'll see Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. Click it. Send $5, $10, whatever. Just tell me you agree with me. And thank me for doing the show. Because I am trying to make money. So I'm trying to do this to make money. So if you can do that, that would be super awesome. You click the link right in your chat. It's also in the description of this video. And then just click Cash App or PayPal or Venmo or whatever. And then it comes right to me. It's a super easy way. Karen said you're allergic to the TB serum. Oh, really? That sucks. But that was a cough. I was like, they're going to kick me out of here. He came in hot, too. Someone said, I wish I could send you money. Yeah, I wish more people would. Thank you, Joe, for doing it. Joe is the only one so far. Oh, no, I take that back. Take that back. Someone else did it. A PayPal one. Let me see. See, I don't know if it's gonna change. I can't give a shout out to who the other one. Steve needs on the road haircut stuff. Yeah, it's one of the things I'm gonna buy. I'm gonna buy one of those head shaver razor things. They're expensive though. They're $100. But they have the 5 blades. It's like an electric razor for your face, but you can use it for your head. Because I care about how I look, even though I'm in the van. So I'm gonna do that. But just like DN Red Sox. Oh, nice. Red Sox. Shout out to you. Hey, you'll appreciate this. Yeah, you can't see shit, but it says Red Sox right there. I'm a big Boston fan. Big Boston fan. Getting nervous of being in here. But yeah, if you do want to support it, you could scan it right on the stream. You could do all that stuff if you want. Because even if you send $5, if everyone watching sends $5, it basically pays for me to do the live streams every day for the rest of the month. Literally, if every single person right now did $5, that'd be like $1,500. I wouldn't have to, ask people to send anything. It would, help me get everything I need to do to be able to do the road and all that. Did you get to go home? Yeah, I did. I went home. So I delivered on Wednesday, got some sleep. Then I drove Wednesday from Georgia to South Carolina, parked there, waited for a load, waited till like 4 or 5 o'clock, or no, 2 or 3. Oh, no, I'm saying the days wrong. So Thursday, I drove from Georgia to South Carolina. Friday, I drove from South Carolina to thank you, Erica, for that $5 Venmo. Thank you. And then I drove, and then, yeah. So long story short, I got home around 8 o'clock on Friday. got to spend Friday there with my wife and kids, and then uh, a Saturday. Like I had to run out. I forgot what I did on Saturday. Oh, I had to do some stuff at the store. So I ran to the store, and then I was only gone for like an hour. And then my wife and kids, we just hung out for the rest of the day. Didn't do shit. Just literally hung out together. So it was pretty cool. You know, I set up the office for as a gaming room for the boys, so they could just have the gaming room when I'm not there. Because the older boy wants to start live streaming when he turns 13, so he's going to be able to do that. And I'm excited. I am a little pissed, or not pissed. I'm sad because his first football game as an eighth grader is tomorrow, and I'm gonna miss it because I'm gonna be in Kentucky. So that makes me sad, to be completely honest. But yeah. Someone said, "Are you coming to Connecticut anytime soon?" I'm in Connecticut right now, homie. But no, I'm leaving. I'm gonna go make a pickup here in a few minutes, and then I'm going to Kentucky for a drop. But I will keep you that in mind, John. Uh, but yeah, so I mean, I do get. I'll be honest. I get homesick when I sit. So when I'm just sitting around is when I get really homesick and I miss them more. I think about them when I drive, but when I'm just sitting is really I just get bored, which is really weird because I used to just lay around all day at home on my days off. That's all I'm doing here. I hang the TV on the wall and just watch, Netflix and shit all day long. But I don't know, it's different because I don't hear my kids running around screaming, being idiots. So I don't know. Just miss them. Just miss them. All right, last time I'm gonna say this. I like the Patriots. I'm a Patriots NFL football player, if that's what you mean. Um, but last time I'm gonna say this. If you want to support the stream, please do. We've only had a couple of people do it today. Um, but yeah, and which is crazy because I went live for this. This will make a total of 3 hours live today, and we've only had, yeah, it's been pretty bad, pretty bad. But if you want to support it, you can do so via the link that's in your chat. Um, where are you picking up? I hope you make it some money. Thank you, Alex, for that $10 Venmo. Said buying coffee for buying a cup or two of coffee from one trucker did that. I'll be honest, I had coffee and it was super expensive, $7, but it was fucking good at the Vince Lombardi service station. There's a little when you walk in, there's like a coffee shop right next to it, and I ended up going in and buying a second one, and I shouldn't have. My wife would get pissed at me because it was like $7 for each one a mocha. They really did a good job making it. And I know what they did. They used, remember, I used to talk about how I wanted to get the fully autonomous or fully automatic coffee makers, the like espresso makers. That's what they use there. They're so expensive. They're 30 grand. I used to want to get those for the store, but, but how do you feel about Ezekiel Elliott joining the Patriots? I don't even know. I didn't even know he joined the Patriots, so I have no idea. I haven't watched. My son has been bugging me about preseason football and all that shit. Damn, I want to get home. The opening first game is Thursday night, isn't it? I wonder who the Patriots play. I know they don't play on Thursday. It's Philly, I think. Uh, Someone said, "Steve, you're hitting all the gas station chains. Never heard of half of what you mentioned." Yeah, well, these are like the service stations and shit like that because I don't want to stop where there's no services. Do you know what I mean? I want to stop where they have services so I can use the bathroom and do that kind of stuff. Someone said, watch out for that Vince Lombardi rest area, especially when staying overnight. Those cops are hawks and make sure you leave after 10 hours and they track it. I was there for 24 hours and the cops did see me, but because I remember one was pulling up and he kind of stopped and looked at me for a second and then he drove. But I had just literally, as he was pulling through the aisle, I had just turned on the truck because I kept it off for the majority of the time that I was there. But I had just turned it on. So maybe he thought I was leaving. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, they do have signs, but I could have got out of the tickets for the signs because their signs said 2 hour parking and then they were pointing that way. and where I was parked was on the opposite side. I would have literally taken a picture. Actually, I probably had it from the live streams. I would have taken a picture and said, "Listen, I am not within that no parking sign." But then again, the idling rule, that was a big deal. So like today, I did have to idle the truck a little bit because it was getting, it wasn't even that hot, but it was getting kind of hot. But at any rate, guys, I gotta go. I gotta go make my pickup. I want to get there and try to see Pats versus Eagles at 4:25 on Sunday, right? Yeah, I'll listen to it on Sirius. I have Sirius in the truck. Again, if you guys want to support the stream, you could do so. I would really appreciate it. I hate fucking saying it all the time, but it's the only way people do it. If I don't say it, nobody does it for the most part. So if you want to support the stream, if you like what I had to say today and you want me to keep saying it, please consider supporting the stream. You can do so via the link that's in the chat. It's also in the description of the video, the link tree. Just click on that. It'll open up a little page that has all sorts of links. You'll find my social media links. Plus, you'll find the Cash App, PayPal, Venmo. It's an easy way to support us. I get the whole thing, so it's not like YouTube is taking a third or whatever. But that's it. I gotta run and go make my pickup. I'm probably not gonna live stream the drive, but I may, with the GoPro, make some videos. I will have the shitty tour tomorrow just for you guys. You can see. But I will see all of you guys probably tomorrow night from wherever the fuck I'm going, Louisville, whatever, Louisville, however you say it. All right, see you. Bye. See, I pressed the wrong button. Fuck it. I'm just gonna end it. See you.